Right then, let's go live. It is almost 8. I tell you what, I really love. I really look forward to these Tuesday night lives. It's really nice just to catch up, and often with my teamies, and I've got tonight joining me Holly, who is one of my downliners. So I'm really looking forward to introducing her to you all. She's amazing. I'm not going to give too much away. I'm going to let her introduce herself. So I'm just going to invite her. So let's see where she is. HT. Where are you, my love? Here she is. Please accept. Hello. Right, I can see you. Oh, whoa.
Hi.
Hi, you all right?
Hi.
Good. Oh, I love it.
Thank you. Yeah.
You've got all your products in the background, and I've just done a quick slap. So we spoke like about 5 minutes ago, and I did not look like this 5 minutes ago. I was like, oh my gosh, you look really nice. I was like, ah. Oh yeah.
Look.
Pajamas. Yeah. I was going to say up there for business, down there. No, anyway, well, yeah. I know what you meant. I know what you meant. How you doing? Yeah.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Apart from this awful cold again, third one this winter, but beauty of having
Oh
children, I
yeah,
guess.
I
Like
was going
back
to
to
say, did it
school.
have anything to do with the sea swimming you did last night? Was it? Did you go swimming in the sea last night? How was that?
Did
Do
yes,
you go every
yeah. It's
week?
lush, absolutely lush. Seriously, no, I haven't been for ages, but I just love being in the sea. Um, it's just so good for you. It's just the coldness is so refreshing. It's a little challenge to like go out there and
Oh,
join a
you
group of
don't
people
know
that you don't
them?
actually know and put your swimming costume on. That's a big deal. Some people I do, some of them I don't. 'Cause there's quite a big group,
Oh,
Facebook group. I think it's about 400 people. And so they just put out a message saying we're doing a swim at so and so time and
oh,
location. Come along if you want. Um, I haven't been since I think
right. Okay.
probably September, October time last year. And then saw this message and I sort of grabbed a friend and she came along.
How long are you in there
Her first
for?
time and she loved it. Um,
Oh, right. Okay.
Literally minutes. Only staying, I think it's about 1 minute per
Uh,
degree of temperature that the sea is. But it was actually
was
warmer
it
in the
windy?
sea than it was on land last night.
No.
No, just bitterly cold yesterday. We all rocked up at the beach and the waves were pretty big, and but we still went in. It was good.
Do you know
It's
what?
a
I
nice
think that's
shallow beach,
amazing.
so it's
I'd
not
love to be able
dangerous.
to do something like that, but I just I can't.
I
Mm. Do you
recommend
follow
it to anybody.
Natalie, Slimmers by the
It,
Sea? Yeah, she's just really got
possibly.
into since that she's another consultant, and since she has been on this journey, she's now doing open water swimming. Anyway, let's start the beginning. Hi, Holly. How are you?
Hi. How are you?
Good.
Very well,
I
thank you.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't know if you can see. I try
exciting.
and wave. I try and press the wave button if I can, just so I can see that people have seen that they have joined. Anyway, so I thought I would come on and introduce you to everybody. You are my downliner, but can we just go back a bit and just introduce yourself and who you are and what you're about?
Cool. So I'm Holly Thompson. I'm a wife to my husband Dan, who is a hotel manager, and three little boys. My eldest being 9 years old, middle one is 5.5, and my youngest one will be 3 next month,
Crikey.
which is a bit scary. Um, so sort of dedicated 9 years to being a mum really, and last year decided it was time to do something for myself. I'm very lucky that I haven't worked since going on maternity leave with my youngest one, Rufus. Quite lucky to be in that sort of position. But it's all very well being a mum, isn't it, sometimes, but it becomes a little consuming and you kind of want something for yourself. So that's kind of how I got into being a consultant after losing a bit of weight with the lovely Jo last year. Yeah, I sort of wanted, I'd like to go back to work this year. I want something for myself this year. I don't really want to go back into employment where I'm restricted to like 9 to 5, whatever hours they dictate. I want to be able to go to assemblies. I want to go to their you know, Christmas fairs, all that kind of stuff, apparently, and be there to pick them up after school. So doing something like this
when
is
you,
perfect,
because you mentioned at the beginning that you wanted to lose some weight. Why? Oh my cat's going to burn its ass on the candle. When did you? What made you decide to do the one-to-one? Like, had you tried other diets before? Had you how did you come across the one-to-one diet?
Plenty of diets before, literally adult life, just yo-yoing between diets, which I think is quite common for most women, to be perfectly honest. The one-to-one diet, I think it was about 2016, 2017, after I had my middle child, and I lost about 2 stone, I think, and then Christmas hit and decided to jump off the diet wagon. And then I just slowly went back on. I had Rufus, who, well, he's 3 years old. This is an excuse, but with my 2 previous children, I breastfed them and dropped weight quite quickly with it. But with Rufus, for some reason, I wasn't able to breastfeed, and without realizing
because you were eating, thinking you were going to burn it the same way that you would when you were breastfeeding.
Yeah, I wouldn't, looking back, I wouldn't say that my eating habits changed massively. I think there was a hormone on. Naturally, when you're breastfeeding, you lose weight, don't you? Because your body consumes calories. But I just and a couple of pictures, you know, surfaced of me, and I thought, oh my god, what has happened? And mum and brother,
your mum
sort
and
of
brother
saying things, saying things like, oh, you know, he's nearly 2 now, or it's, you know, maybe you should start thinking about losing some weight, or, you know, just little jibes and little comments and things, and it sort of, I brushed it off and thought, oh yeah, one day I will. But then actually it was sinking in, and deep down I was beginning to feel a bit rubbish about myself. And it got Christmas last year, and I was in a really rubbish place weight wise. I didn't know where to go. I thought, I've tried Slimming World so many. The Slimming World leaders are going to be like, oh god, she's back again if I join that. I wasn't really looking for a diet, if I'm perfectly honest. I wanted to do something, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And it was beginning of lockdown 3 last year. Lockdown 3. And my husband, running the hotel, he said to us, right, we're going to move over to the hotel. We don't know how long this lockdown's going to be. The hotel can't be left empty. We're all going over there. And I remember being in our little apartment and sort of thinking, oh, all I'm doing is like homeschooling and eating, and this is rubbish. It's not a good cycle to be in. And completely out of the blue, this lovely one-to-one diet Jo followed Instagram, and I thought, oh god, yeah, the one-to-one diet. I've done that before. And I think I followed Jo for a couple of days, and then I messaged you and just said, help me. I need help. I don't care what it takes. I need help. And FaceTime me the following day, and that was it. Jo lives in Bristol, and I'm down in Cornwall. So it wasn't even like I could pop to your shop or your office or your home or anything. It was all done virtually through the one-to-one diet, changing the way that consultants are allowed to work. I received remember that first parcel that you sent me?
I had the same thing today,
but
anyway, that's for another time.
Oh, no. So anyway, my box arrived with all my goodies, and the package see is beautiful. It's all colourful and really eye-catching. And I lined it all up on my little shelf, and I got myself completely in the zone, and weight was just dropping off. It was so easy. I was homeschooling the boys, which was pretty much a full-time job. Trying to keep a 2-year-old entertained in a huge hotel without him running off or falling off the edge of a cliff. It was a stressful time. I think with the homeschooling, we had to log into Zoom calls like 3 times a day. And it was just, from the minute we got up, it was wham, bam, 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 bam. So to take out having to think about food was perfect. And I lost, I think it was like 3 stone at the end of lockdown 3. And I remember going back into school, or, you know, catching up with friends again, and everybody was like, wow, you look amazing. You look, wow. Like, because I hadn't documented it anywhere. I was too shy to put it on my Instagram or on my Facebook or anything. I didn't want to put it in people's faces. And it was the feeling of going back and seeing my friends and then being.
Do you think
wow,
that you were
so
you didn't want to put it in people's faces, or that you just didn't want to put the spotlight on you and the pressure on you to think, oh look, I'm on a diet, and then wait for everybody to see how you get on? Because sometimes, like, you know, we announce it, and then there's the pressure of kind of like, oh, we're just going to wait for her. She's going to fall flat on her face. You know, it's kind of like, you know, we want our friends and our loved ones will support us, but, you know, there's a lot of kind of negativity out there. So sometimes, you know, people are a little bit shy. But I would say now, and what would you say now as a consultant, kind of like to someone who, you know, is embarrassed about being on a diet, or what would you say? How would you kind of like advise that?
Who cares what you're doing? Your life is your life. Nobody has got the power to judge you. It's why I still struggle with it, if I'm perfectly honest, sort of putting myself out there and telling people that I'm doing certain things, because I do get worried that people are going to judge me. Just in my nature, I've always been like that. But I'm slowly learning that actually no one cares.
Exactly.
It's your life.
We just had a question. Lynn Reed, how much is a stone versus a pound? So there are 14 pounds in 1 stone. But
pound is a bag.
Oh right, okay. How big is the bag of sugar though? Yeah, that's it. Like, it's kind of like, you know, I heard a really good saying the other day. It's not my business what other people think of me. And it's true, because, you know, you can get so caught up with, you know, comparing, and, you know, and at the end of the day, I think I might have even put a post up the other day, like, you know, you're going to be too loud for some people, too quiet for some people, you know, you're never going to fit the mold. Like, there's just no way that you're going to tick all the boxes and be all things to all people. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. And the thing is that, you know, someone else's journey, whether you think it's successful or not, like, success is relative, you know, like, however, you know, you've lost 3 stone. That is amazing. There are some people who need to lose a lot more than 3 stone. There are other people that don't need to lose, that could do with losing only half a stone. So success can't be deemed like, well, the more you lose, the more successful the diet is, or, you know, we're living in such pressured times at the moment. It's got to be about what feels right for you, and like putting yourself first. I mean, because like as a mum, like I was just thought, I am a stereotypical statistic. Like, I am in my 40s, I've got 2 kids, I work, and I feel like I was just this non-identifiable, you know, well, actually too identifiable, because I felt like I was going into that category of like just like a middle-aged mum. Like, I felt mumsy, and like I was like, do you know what, if I want to change the way I feel, if I want to change the way I look, and if I want to change my confidence, and if it means being on a diet in order to do that, I'm going to tell people. I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stick in your lane and do what you got to do.
So how's your journey
Don't worry
now?
about-
So kind of like, so where are you now in terms of kind of the one-to-one diet and you?
Okay, so I have gained a little bit of weight since last summer, but
You have
back
been.
on it since,
I've
well,
been
January.
spying
Not
on
quite in
you.
February. Yeah. And all these
Have you
exciting new
tried them?
products, like the fruit and nut bar. Oh, yeah, they
Ooh.
finally
Is it
arrived
that way?
today, 5 o'clock.
Ooh.
So,
Oh my God, I love it.
absolute favourite. So good. I didn't
I
think
know. Wow.
it was a dream
Do
bar,
you know what? I'm
but
going to be a little
wow.
bit I am going to be a little bit controversial here. Still, my favourite is the dark chocolate and ginger. I can't. I love it. I absolutely. Lynn, unfortunately, this program isn't available in the US at the moment. I think I did DM you. Unfortunately, as consultants, we're not allowed to sell any products we're not licensed to. But I believe that head office are working on a plan. So that's all we know. We don't know whether US is going to be part of that plan, and we don't really know how far away that plan is. But currently, we're not licensed or insured to sell any products to the US, I'm afraid. I know, sorry. But, you know, you never know, Lynn. Maybe when you want to become yourself a consultant, you can pick up all these lovely tips that Holly and I are sharing.
That's the thing with Global HQ. They're always working on something, aren't they? There's
Yeah.
always a pipeline. So you never know. You never know.
So, and so you wanted, so we've known each other for about a year now. And tell me what you thought about convention.
Oh my God. When I became a consultant, so after I lost 3 stone, Jo sort of planted the seed about becoming a consultant. And she kept on going about convention, and I thought, it's just going to be like a big group of women, and it's, you know, it's going to be some fancy lights and maybe a stage. But Jo was like, no, once you go to convention, there's no looking back. It's the best, like, day, 24 hours ever. It's so exciting. So we booked our ticket. I got on a little train from Penzance.
You drove to
No, I
Plymouth.
didn't. I drove to Plymouth, didn't I? Got the train at Plymouth. Jo met me in Bristol, and then we drove up to Farnborough, our little hotel, and went and met a few of the other little consultants the night before and had a meal. I didn't sleep that night. I was so excited because Jo had built this up so much. We went to Farnborough.
Yeah, it was the Farnborough exhibition. Right next to the private runway where all the jets take off.
Exactly. Huge, great place. Thousands of consultants everywhere. And walked in, and it just was wow. It just blows your socks off. There's boards with everybody's names on with what they've achieved. There's like a whole like dining sort of gathering area, which I kind of thought, oh, it's all in there, but we're not going to fit in there.
That was the holding area.
Consultants.
Yeah.
Holding area where you get your teas and coffees. Doors opened. There were bright lights. There was like a stage at the front with a huge screen. There were seats everywhere. Everybody just ran in to get the best seat.
Yeah.
And that was it. I think it started at 10 o'clock. I can't remember. And until 3-4 o'clock, it was not.
It was like a show, wasn't it? Like head office. Like, so the guys at head office. So every year, the one-to-one diet put on a convention where it's an opportunity for all the consultants to meet up, and they talk about, obviously, you know, the performance of the company, and the sales and all that stuff. And also they launch 3 or 4, maybe even 5 new products. But head office, I think honestly that the some of the interview criteria when they're interviewing their candidates for whatever position, whether it's country manager, MD, head of sales, head of PR, that you must have some kind of like performance criteria, because these people get up on stage, they sing, they get dressed up. These are our CEOs and MDs, you know, of like the global company, and they are just kind of like, you know, throwing away their inhibitions, getting dressed, singing to last not this time, but the other time it was Chesney Hawkes, I Am the One and Only, and he came on stage and started singing. I mean, it's an incredible production, like this huge, great, big kind of like light boards and all, you know, it's amazing, isn't it? And you'll just think, I think the thing is that with convention, or possibly because we are all self-employed, you know, this is an amazing opportunity, but we are all self-employed. But head office don't ever make you feel like you're self-employed, because they put so much training on, they give you so much information that you are never, and you've got all the team around you, that there's no way that anybody could ever feel isolated or feel like that they are way out their depth, because you've got all this, you can tap into all this information. And when you get to head office, like, you think you can kind of get a little bit, just not, I guess you can just be so focused on your own team and what's going on that you forget about the bigger picture. But when you go to convention, you think, oh my gosh, this is huge. And like, you just feel like it's so inspiring when you see people get on the stage. They do like the Slimmers Awards. So the month before they did the Slimmers Award, Vernon Kay was the host. And he said, you know, he was really taken aback and so surprised at how emotional these stories are, because, you know, losing weight isn't just, oh, I want to fit into my size 8 jeans. It goes way deeper and more meaningful than, you know, wanting to just kind of like, you know, fit into a size posing. It's about changing people's confidence, feeling like that, you know, they can embark on relationships or maybe start a family, or just feeling like that they're worthy, because some of us feel like when we're overweight that we're not worthy. And obviously that's all to do with our mindset, and it's how we change that. And sometimes it's when we change our weight, we then can then explore changing other things. But weight seems to be the biggest thing. It's kind of like a domino. It's the biggest domino at the front, and once that topples, and everything else seems to kind of like fall into place. I don't know whether you find that. Do you find the same?
Absolutely, yeah. Losing weight can change your life. Reverse medical conditions, gives people confidence to book simple things like that other people, you know,
Yeah,
what's what I'm looking for, smaller people might nothing of, like booking a holiday. For somebody who's obese, booking a holiday is absolutely terrifying, because they can't fit on the plane, or they have to be an air hostess for an extension belt. That's a holiday. How exciting are holidays? You know, it's look forward to every year. It's something that you can put your hard work forward. And to deny that is quite, so.
Because yeah, go on.
Going back to convention, you see these other consultants. Like Joe always said to me, you'll see the consultants and what they've achieved, and you'll be mind blown. And when you become a consultant, you sort of think, oh, I'm just like a small little ant in amongst it all. But going to convention, it just completely opens your eyes as to how much potential this business actually has. The support you get from head office is second to none. There's a whole, you know, social side of things for you to tap into. There's a whole medical that you can tap into if you've got a client that's got any issues at all that you're not sure about. Ping an email or a pre-done form.
Well, yeah, a templated form.
And you'll get an answer back usually within 24 hours, if not quicker. You couldn't ask for better support than that, really, could you? And they genuinely want you to succeed in your business.
They want you to succeed, but there's no pressure on you to hit targets at certain times. Like there are there's loads of targets and incentives, and to motivate you to get there if you want to do it. Like if you want to go for it. Because I want to go back to it very quickly. What was the one thing that was stopping you, that you felt was going to hinder you from becoming a consultant, that you only properly appreciated, needn't be a worry until you got to convention? What was your biggest concern?
That I wasn't at goal, that I goal weight. I don't ever want to be like a size 8. I've never been a size 8. I don't aspire to be that at all. I'd be happy at a size 14, size 16. And I kept on thinking, oh my God, all the consultants are going to be tiny. They're all going to be super skinny. They're not going to eat anything during the day. They're going to live off products. And I kept on saying to Jo, I can't be a consultant. I can't tell people to lose or help people lose weight when I'm not comfortable in myself. Jo, bless her, put a message onto the consultant forum on Facebook and said, I've got a potential, I've got a slimmer who wants to become a consultant, but she's worried that goal. And you had a phenomenal response, didn't you, from other consultants saying it's not a problem, people like to follow your journey, they like to see that you're still they like to see that you get where you are, which can find ease. And then I went to convention again, still petrified that I wasn't at goal. I was happy where I was because I was about a size 16, but still very conscious that I wasn't a size 8. But actually,
Didn't matter.
It didn't matter at all. Doesn't matter.
The energy in the room was so amazing. Like, you know, it wouldn't have been mattered if anybody, you know, but the thing is that we get so consumed with, you know, how we should be rather than actually, you just said that you felt really good. You were wearing a size 16. And if that's what made you feel good, and if that's how, you know, if that's an achievement for you, then that is the diet working, because you weren't a 16, you know, you've been bigger than a 16, and the fact that you were able to wear that beautiful dress and you felt good in it is irrelevant what other people may or may not have thought and what you think you should may have looked like, because the fact is that you looked great, you felt great, and that was enough. And that's why success is so relative to kind of where we are and where we start our journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I always say to my slimmers, I don't aspire to be like a size 8 or a size 10. One day maybe I do.
And there's nothing, you know, like I don't know why, you know, it's that kind of like Kate Moss and, you know, the supermodels. I definitely grew up around there, that kind of like, you know, supermodel glam stuff. And it you know, you can't help but look at other people's and judge. But the thing is that, you know, we all, you know, it's that thing about, you know, what we see here is what we're allowing people to see. So I'm allowing you to see. I've got a lovely scented candle behind me. I've tried to put a product there. You cannot see the shit behind the lens, you know. And it's kind of like, you know, when we look at people, you know, when we put up posts and, you know, we journey or there, we are only allowing people, we're only sharing what we're comfortable with sharing. Sometimes it's very raw and honest, and that's absolutely fine, you know, and it's very emotional, but you know, the good stuff, you know, Instagram, you know, and all social media and all the stuff, you know, 99% of it has been edited, and you know, we're only happy, and the celebs are only kind of like double approving, making sure that they're happy with what's being seen. So it's kind of like, you know, we shouldn't really worry about, you know, well, we shouldn't worry at all what other people think, because, you know, it's none of their business. And if you feel good and if you felt like $1 million, then that's all that matters. Yeah, exactly. So we so when we had this convention, and so what have your slimmers, what step do you find your slimmers most gravitate towards? So when you first do the EPRF, which is like when a slimmer joins on board, we have to fill out a form, or they have to fill out a form to give us all the information. So it gives us their BMI, any medical conditions, any medications, and then that tells us which is the lowest step. So I always say to my slimmers, this is the lowest step you could start on, but based on you and your circumstances, your lifestyle and whatever, let's discuss all the steps and see where it fits in. So kind of like, it'd be interesting to see, what step do your slimmers start on, and do they have a preference?
And I've had a flurry of slimmers
I have as
recently who have
well.
started on step 3. Yeah, I don't know why. Well, I think they just want a bit more
Yeah,
conventional food, really. It sort of suits their lifestyle a bit more. But then I have some clients who say I want to get the weight
yeah,
off really quickly and I
yeah,
don't think about food at all. So they're sort of
yeah,
1A and 1B kind of clients. I think probably step 2 is the
yeah,
most common for me, because you have your 3 products and then you have your 200
yeah.
calorie home cooked meal out of the steps booklet. But yeah, and I've got a couple of swimmers actually who are going to be starting their way
Moving
back up,
up to
or
oh,
starting their way to go
amazing.
through
Oh, so
maintenance.
amazing. It's like when your swimmers start moving up the steps where they start maintaining, you feel like your kids are leaving home. Like it feels like a bit of like empty nest syndrome. I mean, I know they're always going to be with me because they're going to want to maintain. Um, but it is that thing of like watching your kids grow up and like, oh my god, they don't need my help. Like they're nailing it. They know exactly what they need to do in order to maintain, which is amazing. Mm,
They're like your little pride and joy.
mm,
You've seen them with
yeah,
zero hating themselves, and they'll sit opposite me at my office in my desk,
mm,
and they just look broken,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
just want to give them a hug. Obviously, we can't at the minute, and
yeah,
say it's fine. We'll get you through this. We'll absolutely get you. Then they lose a stone, and you can see a little bit of a blossom coming. Then 2 stone, then 3 stone, then 4 stone, then 5 stone, and you just think, oh my god, this is so exciting. I'm helping transform their life. They'll come through the doors, and you'll say, oh, you look lovely today, or that's a nice pair of boots. They're like,
yeah,
I couldn't zip those boots up 6 months ago,
yeah,
or I couldn't wear them
yeah.
6 months ago. Yes, yes, yes. I've done that for them, and it's so exciting. And then, yeah, sort of like you say, it's a bit like empty nest when they start going up through the steps, and you sort of
It's
wave
like,
them off
when they
gradually. I
go
don't
to
mind doing
uni,
it.
so you're going to hear from them every so often. But they're not quite ready to leave. They'll come back with like dirty laundry or something. So, yeah,
You just form such a bond. I actually look forward to having a little chat. Sometimes
yeah,
the chat about the
yeah,
diet is minimal. It's the rest of the
yeah.
most in their
And I
appointments
think the thing
sometimes.
is that like
You
with
sort of
because it is
like,
so like personal and it is so one to one, you kind of have to know about their lives because otherwise you're not really. I find really the more I know about my simmer, the more I'm going to be able to support them in the best way possible because it's that personal connection and it's that trust and it's that honesty because I always say to my simmers, I need you to be 100% honest with me. I'm not judging if you've had a wobble or whatever. I need to know that. And it's if I ask you, if you've weighed that week and the results are not what you had expected, I'm going to ask you, have you drunk your water? Have you weighed out your products? Are you following the traffic light system? It's not because I'm trying to catch you out. I'm just trying to ascertain kind of like what we can do to improve, last week into next week so that you will see, because ultimately what we need to do is like motivate or get the motivation going so that you see those results. But it does take like dedication. It has to take effort. Like this is not going to happen on its own. There is, a responsibility from the simmer to go, right, okay, yes, I do want this. I can't wing it because, there is this kind of like, it could be, oh, I'm just going to eat these products and lose weight, but it goes way beyond that. You've got to really mentally and like invest in making an effort to want to lose the weight, because without that effort all you're doing is winging it and you'll only ever get so far, and then you're not educating yourself, and then all you're going to do is go back to old habits because you haven't gone through the system properly.
exactly. You've got to get inside their
Yeah,
brains to see what makes them tick. Change that. Change the
yeah,
destructive habits that they've had, and
yeah,
really help them focus. Because, like you said,
yeah,
you can just take the products.
No,
But if you're not
no.
putting in the
And it's a
it's not
hard
going to work.
diet. So, you know, you've got to, you know, and I never sugarcoat it. I was like, you know, this is a hard diet, but the results will show and you'll be rewarded for your hard work. But you've just got to, you know, get on and do it. There's no easy quick fix. This isn't a quick fix. It's not, you know, yeah, it's not a quick fix diet. And if it is, it's because you've just gone through, you know, maybe one of the lower steps and then just thrown the steps book out the window and then decide to do the rest on your own. That's why you put the weight back on again, because you're not following the steps. Roanna, oh, I've avoided the Costa drive-through a week. Yay! And that's it. You know, it is stuff like that. It's kind of like, you know, you've got to change your habits. You cannot think that either the things that you were doing previously is going to help you lose weight. Those things have contributed to you putting on weight. So therefore, right, okay, I've been doing all these things, I've been eating all that stuff, and I'm not happy with my weight. So that means I need to start cutting things out. And it is things like the coffees and, like, you know, the petrol station stops or whatever it is. And all of those things that we forget, because it's not a meal that we sit down and they're just a grab and go thing, we forget to include those calories when I haven't eaten that much. I'm not really a big, you know, my meals aren't big. Well, your meals might be big, you know, and you might eat healthily, but all the stuff around the meals, you know, always adds up.
Exactly. But another side to this is how much money do you save by not going across the drive-through, not swinging into way home from the kids club or judo club, whatever. All those little things that you're not buying week, you can put aside and treat yourself to something nice, like a new top or a pair of trousers once you start losing the weight. So
it's a massive win. I always say, you know, I text one of my slimmers today. She's on step 3. And well, I suppose technically she could have had. So I said, "How's it going?" And she sent me a picture of a jacket potato and salad. And I was like, okay, I have no idea how many calories that is. Potentially that might be okay if that was going to be her 600 calorie meal and, you know, the other 2 products. But I have a feeling there was more to it. But anyway, you know, I always use the analogy is that, you know, if someone has said to me, "Oh, Jo, you know, I slipped up," or I had this, you know, I had this and it wasn't a product and I didn't weigh or whatever, I always use the analogy that if you had a flat tire or if you had a puncture, you wouldn't go around and slash the other 3 of your tires. You would fix the problem and then you would move on. And that's the way that you have to look at, you know, when you're on plan. You know, we're all human, we all slip up. It is unrealistic to think that you are going to be on plan 100% for the entire time of your journey. You will slip up, but it's how you respond to those slip ups are what's important, because you have one of 2 choices. You could go, oh my gosh, like let's just say 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you've been on plan all day, and then you have a packet of crisps. You don't know what happened. It was autopilot. You picked up a, you know, Walker salt and vinegar and think, oh my God, I'm so annoyed with myself. What did I do that for? I didn't need to do that. At that moment, you've got 2 choices. You can go, right, okay, do you know what? I've done it. I can't do anything about it. I own it, and I'm now going to move on. So my next meal is going to be on plan. I'm going to go, right, okay, I'm going to stick back to it. Or you could go, oh, sod it, I've had the packet of crisps, I might as well have this, I might as well have that. Like, no, like it's okay to sip up as long as you then make the smart choice of thinking, okay, that wasn't ideal, but I know what I need to do now to get back on track and not sabotage the rest of your journey, because you're always going to be faced with those challenges, and it's how you react to them which will then determine the success of how you are on plan. And even if it's every day, like even if like every day you try again, at least you're trying. At least every day when you wake up in the morning, you go, right, yesterday wasn't what I wanted. I'm going to try again today. And as long as you keep waking up, because, you know, when you think about everybody else in their profession, athletes, right? Athletes who, like, you know, they train on the track and like, you know, they're gonna like, you know, not get their PBs, they're gonna be fought with injuries, they're just gonna be like, you know, really, really challenged. But every day they'll turn up for training, every day they're going to turn up because they want to succeed. And that's kind of how I see the diet. It's just that determination of wanting to succeed.
Just adding
Yeah, I
up
saw
of small steps makes a big difference. And I always say to you know, if they come to me and they've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stone to lose, and they'll say, "Oh, am I going to do that?" You know, it's potentially a year of my life that I've got to give up diet. I say to them, look at the whole flight of stairs. Take one step at a time. Small little steps will make, you know, the bigger picture eventually.
Because it is so overwhelming. I'm worried about my candle. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
You might say,
it is so overwhelming, but you know, it doesn't, you know, the weight didn't go on overnight, so there's that aspect as well. Like, you know, we kind of procrastinate for so long about knowing that we should do it, but we bury our heads in the sand and we think, oh, I'll do it later, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. And then when the time comes that we do want to do it, we become the most impatient people ever, and we want the weight off now. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I lost X amount. But yeah, but for weeks and months and years, you were steadily gaining, you know. So the fact that you are in like deficit doesn't matter how big or small. The fact is that you are losing, and you know, yes, it's going to take time, and it should take time. It shouldn't be dropping off like, you know, we say on average a stone a month if you're on, you know, step 1A, 1B or 2, because, you know, that's if you stick to plan. And that's right, you know, you can't drastically lose the weight. You're not going to get that education of what you need to do to kind of maintain it. But it's got to be an investment. You know, it's not going to happen overnight.
it takes a while for your head to catch up if you lose it too quickly. And that's where you can slip up. You won't believe that you've lost the weight. So again, that's why 100%. I always say to my slimmers, make sure you take pictures at the beginning, so you can, even 6 weeks down the line, you can see a massive difference. If they don't take those pictures, their head just doesn't catch up. And that's, they'll say there's like a size 20. They'll still be wearing a size 20, but it'll be looser. But they won't actually believe that they have lost potentially in 6 weeks, you know, 1.5 stones.
Yeah.
They can quite easily derail themselves.
Yeah. And that's why I always say, always take pictures. Absolutely. And I know that, you know, when we're at our largest and our most uncomfortable, and when we're really low in confidence, where it's the kind of, it's the last thing we want to do, but it is the most powerful thing that you can do in terms of motivation. Because I know, and I'm sure that I can speak pretty much for every single person, at least that's watching this, or, you know, every woman and man possibly, that will look in the mirror and go, oh, don't like that, don't really like that, or my bingo wings, or my double chin, or my belly, or, you know, my thighs. Someone will not be, you know, everybody will find fault with something, because we're looking in the mirror and all we're seeing is what we see right in front of us. But when we have a picture 4 weeks ago and we put them side by side, and we're like, oh wow, like I can see the difference, and it is so motivating. And I really encourage my slimmers to document their journey. Like, it's almost like I ask them to set up an Instagram account. It doesn't have to be public, it can be private, something that I just follow with them, but to start journaling their experience. Because as we know, there's a lot of people that start off as slimmers, they're so inspired and so motivated, and to some people the diet will have changed their lives, and this passion that they get for wanting to go, oh my gosh, this diet helped me, saved me, you helped me, you saved me, I want to pay it forward. When they become a consultant, they have all of that back history of their own Instagram account that they have been journaling from the very beginning, so that everybody can go, oh my gosh, look at this person's, you know, she started off, he started, and exactly, it's so powerful. And I know at the very beginning when everybody's like, no, don't want to be a consultant, absolutely not for me, blah, 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 blah. But it is so common that when you get nearing your goal and you just think, oh my gosh, like I want this energy, when you know how you feel because of the diet, why wouldn't you want to help someone else? Like it's almost like a no brainer. I feel so good, I need to be able to pass this on.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Exactly how I felt. I felt amazing. I felt I could take on anything when I lost 3 stone.
And because of head office, they've done what they've launched. So we had this back to work meeting. Was it a meeting? I don't even know what it was. I guess it was like a mini conference, wasn't it? And so normally, so to become a consultant, you and I previously would have paid the £50 to do the training, the essentials training, and then paid the £150 to pay for the starter kit. And that's
which is such money to start a business,
because it is your business, right? So like you know, if you attend the business opportunity meeting, Babette or Matt will talk about ways that you could start up a business, and it's either to be self-employed, it's either, you know, franchise, where it's like thousands of pounds to buy a franchise, or, you know, other huge investments. But with the one-to-one, before it was £50 to do the essential training and then £150 for the starter kit, and you'd get enough products for 3 months for step 1B. No, yeah, I think something like that, or just under 3 months. And now they've scrapped the £50. So for January, February and March, there's no training fee. You can just rock up, just register free of charge, and the only thing that you'd have to pay for if you want to continue is the £150 for the starter kit, which is amazing. Everybody I've spoken to who's been a consultant longer than me has never heard of them doing this before.
Such a brilliant thing to be doing.
And like, you don't have to, you know, I didn't do the plan. I'm maintaining my weight on the one-to-one diet. I lost my weight a long time ago, but I use all the products. I probably follow about step 4 every day, and I use 2 products a day and then make up the rest of the calories with conventional food. But I didn't start off my journey as a slimmer, and which is a policy that head office had just changed, actually, because previously you had to have been a slimmer. And I became a consultant, and so you don't have to have been on plan. Like, you don't have to have been on plan to become a consultant. If you want to, I don't know, like earn a little bit of money against alongside another job, which is how I started. I had a 30-hour-week office job, and then I decided to do this alongside so that I could just earn a little bit of extra money. You could be a stay-at-home mum who wants to earn a little bit of independence and not feel like they're having to, you know, rely on other sources for money, just have their own income. Retirement, you could be retired but you want to top up your retirement fund. You could be a student and you want to kind of, like, you know, get out your debt and all that stuff. So there's loads of reasons.
Today, have you done the training?
No, I've joined it, but I've not actually done it.
Doing some sections on that today, and there's a lady called Gail, I think she is, and she said that she was 60 and when she joined the business, and she didn't want to be a grey-haired, curly-haired 60-year-old that traipses around garden centres looking for the next cafe to have. That's it. And so she joined the business 13 years ago, and she's mega successful.
Yeah.
She was, you know, retired, but she still joined just to have that little bit of income.
And I think that's it, isn't it? It's kind of like, it's because it's hard. It's hard to want to try and do it all, and it's, you know, we can't always have it all. And I know that when I was working the office job and I was doing an hour commute, I didn't realise what I was missing until lockdown and homeschooling. And I hated the homeschooling. Like I didn't enjoy it at all. But what I didn't realise, what was important to me, is that when the boys went back to school and I was still furloughed, I was able, so not only was I furloughed, which was great, I could still do the one-to-one diet because we were classed as food distributors. So that means we were able, you know, head office had a letter that we, if we were stopped by anybody, we could produce the letter and say, well, actually, I'm a food supplier, so therefore I'm classified as a key worker and I can carry about my business. So the one-to-one diet didn't stop. In fact, it evolved in a way that we never knew possible. But what it did for me, is that, you know, when I was still furloughed and I was doing the one-to-one diet, I was able to pick up the boys every day, take them to school every day and pick them up every day. Because previously, when I was commuting, I was dropping them at the childminder at 7:45 in the morning and I wasn't picking them up till 6. And I was just like, and then, you know, it's like an hour. I wanted the boys to be like bath, hair wash and all that stuff by 7:30. And I was like, I had an hour and a half to catch up with my kids before they needed to be in bed. And I didn't realise, and I thought that was just, well, Jo, you're a working mum, you want to earn money, this is, you asked for it, this is what you got. You know, I just didn't really know what the alternative was. And then when furlough happened and I obviously wasn't able to work in the office and I was still able to do this job, I was able to go and pick up the boys. And I was like, hang on a minute, I'm able to take them to school. I can pick them up. Not only was I able to pick them up, all these after school clubs, like a football training, kind of like wish I'd, you know. So then boys are now able to go to football because I can take them at 5 o'clock rather than not picking them up till 6. And I didn't realise how much it meant to me, and I almost didn't want to be that mum that wanted to be at the school pickup. I thought that was, but you know, my kids are only young ones, and you know, I know that by the time that they get to senior school, they'll be walking to school and they won't want me. So I just thought I need to change the way that I earn a living, because I still want to earn a living. I just don't want to do it the way that I've been doing it for 20 odd years.
And this kind of job, this sort of sideline network marketing sort of role, is only going to get bigger. But people still poo-poo the idea of network marketing, but it's growing big time. And
I think the thing is you've got to do your research, haven't you? You've got to what I like about this business more than anything. It actually serves a purpose where it is transformational. So you are helping someone resolve an issue. You are helping someone find their confidence, or grow a family, or whatever it is. You are helping. You have supported them on that journey, which is really satisfying. I love that more than anything. I also love the fact that you have this head office who are so steeped. This isn't a company that is 5-10 years old. Back, it was in the 80s, it was formed. It's, got all of its medical credibility. It was, formed at the hospital because of the doctors needed to find ways for obese patients to lose weight in order for them to be operated on. So it had to go through all of that testing, medical testing, and had to make sure that it was nutritionally beneficial. Because you can't put crap into patients, there's just no way you would have passed any of those tests. So I liked the fact that it had credibility, and also that one of the most important factors, which what you mentioned earlier, is that there is the medical team, that if there are any slimmers that have these medical conditions, that the medical team are there to support you. It's not a no, they can't do it. It's okay, well, let's try this. And, there's ways around it, not ways around it, but the medical team will advise you which is the safest and most appropriate step for that particular slimmer. So it is so tailored to the individual. And when I get inquiries, people say to me, "Oh, can you tell me how much this step is?" I say it needs more of a conversation, because that step might even relevant. It might not be, you know, eligible. You might not be eligible for it. If someone's looking and go, oh, I like the idea of step 1B, it's just 4 products a day, which is for 800 calories. Okay, well, this person could be, you know, after they filled out their form, could be on certain medications. Then in a consultation which you have with them, if oh, actually they like exercising 3 times a week, well, all of a sudden you know that step 1B isn't going to be suitable for them. So it's very difficult to say, right, this step is how much it is, because actually you've got to find out more about the individual to then advise, maybe you could start on this step, but actually it's not suitable. You need to start on a higher step or a lower step according to whatever you want to achieve. So I always try and ask for a consultation rather than sending out information, because I think it needs to have more of that personal chat and just kind of like, you know.
Tailored to them. You can't just chuck out a generic step for them. It's completely tailored to them.
I can see that Grace has joined, and I don't know if you follow One-to-One Diet Grace. You do. I can see. Hey, Grace. Oh my gosh, like there is no words. And I know that Grace has obviously been on a hugely successful journey herself and is now a consultant and has been for some time. And I know that you know, I'm trying to learn from other consultants and see how they approach the business and what they do. Because, you know, I want to make sure that I can give the best advice and learn from everybody who has been doing it way longer than me. And that's what's so nice actually about the consultants. So, you know, we spoke about, you know, the diet and stuff, but actually the network and how supportive everybody is.
Community is amazing. Everybody just looks out for each other and helps each other, and any questions, doesn't matter how silly they might be to you, they've got the answers. You're never on your own.
I know, it's mental, isn't it?
8,000 consultants.
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
Phenomenal,
so
really.
What would you say, so 2 questions. If someone was thinking about the diet, the One-to-One diet, but was a bit hesitant about it because of maybe stuff that they had, I don't know, hadn't really researched, and all they'd ever heard of, oh, the Cambridge, is that the shake diet? Kind of, how would you approach that conversation?
The most common thing I get is people saying, oh, it's just shakes and products. You'll lose the weight really quickly and then you'll whack it back on again.
Yeah.
You can do that on any diet. You can pay £5 a week to be weighed by somebody, follow that plan for 6 months and lose X amount of weight. The minute you stop that diet, you're going to put the weight back on again. Doesn't matter what kind of diet it is.
Yeah.
You've got to change your life. You've got to change the way you eat to be able to maintain it.
The thing is, it's also so much about the relationship with food, isn't it? Because I think that when you're in a place where you have such an unhealthy relationship with food, and it's that trust of trusting yourself. So that's why step 1B and meal replacement products are so appealing, because at the beginning, when you're so scared and you're so frightened and you can't trust yourself because you know that food has got you into this situation, this hole, and you haven't got to the educational bit yet where you learn to kind of like get that back into your life. But first of all, you've got to kind of deal with you've got to tackle like one issue at a time. And I think that sometimes when we're faced with eat what you want, mountains of what you want, and blah, 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 and then educate, it could be a bit too much. It's like, hold on a minute, I can eat all this and I'm trying to lose weight. So it doesn't quite fit. Like, you know, for me, that's how I felt. I was like, this doesn't feel right. I can eat all this free food or whatever. I feel stuffed and uncomfortable. I don't understand. And a lot of people will resonate with that. And a lot of people go, actually, do you know what? I just don't want to think about that at the moment. I just want to be motivated and lose the weight. Because when you're on plans like that and you're losing a pound, half a pound a week, it can be so derailing and just so demotivating that you need to you kind of need to start something to kickstart your weight loss. And yes, to a certain extent, it does need to be drastic, because that is what's going to motivate you. Because, you know, we all are motivated by results. Like, there's no way that we are going to put this much effort and hard work in and not get any payback. Like, that just doesn't make sense. Why would you do it? So it's got to be hard, but the results have to be equally as rewarding. And it's like choose your hard. You know, do you want to carry on in this really unhealthy state, or do you want it to be hard but actually you could see progress? And yeah, and I think that's why I love this diet so much, is because it tackles the first issue first, of kind of like, right, you know, let's, you know, if you are starting on the lower steps, but even if you are starting on step 3, it's still giving you that discipline of, right, here are your products, let's sort this out, and then we can work out, you know, we can work together. Here's a step book, here's a traffic light system, and you have to stick to it. You can't just, like we mentioned before, you can't just think, right, okay, I'm going to wing it, I'm not going to follow it, because otherwise, if you do, then you will put the weight back on. But in the beginning stages, just to have the products and changing your mindset and being motivated by what you see, you'll feel like, like this kind of euphoric that it's working. And then once you feel you can see the results happening there, then you're going, right, okay, now I can see the weight is coming off and I feel really motivated by it. I need to know how I'm going to keep it off. I need to bring conventional food back into my life. How am I going to do that? And this is where the education of the portion sizes, the frequencies, is so important, because then that helps guide you, like your swimmers will find when they start going up the steps, to keep it disciplined but with flexibility, because that's what we want. We want that balance.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like knocking down a wall, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then slowly rebuilding it correctly, putting in the steps, the maintenance steps, the education, like you say.
Exactly. So what are your plans for 2022?
Grow my client base big time. I'm going to go big. I would like to start growing a team. And be on that bloody stage at convention.
You want to win awards? Yeah, amazing. Why not? Why not? You know, we've got to, I think that you know, work hard. Like, you know,
you've got to have aspirations, haven't you?
Amen.
You've got to have goals. Which brings me on. I'm looking forward to our little goal setting.
Right. I know.
FaceTime tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I've got mine as well. Okay. Right, we've done an hour. We've done an hour already. It's been so nice chatting to you. And it's really nice that everybody's got to see a little bit of Holly.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for inviting me to do this. Thought was, oh my god, no chance am I doing that.
Yeah.
But actually,
see, it wasn't that bad, was it? It was just a chat. Yeah, I know. It's nice, isn't it?
Really...
Right then, okay. I am going to. I think we should say our goodbyes. Thanks so much. Speak to you later.
Nice to chat to you.